Selection Sunday and being a part of the NCAA tournament is, it's an honor. It takes an amazing amount of hard work and talent. And, each of us that are a part of the tournament, we have our own story. And I don't know if there's going to be one story that isn't going to be filled with adversity, obstacles, different things that all of us have had to overcome, to be a part of today and be a part of the tournament. And as you well know, our team this year has been able to overcome an injury to Zach Fremantle, very difficult and challenging non-conference schedule change from one season to the next. And I'm just incredibly proud of our team and super excited about the opportunity just to play in the tournament. In any team that you play, from game one, and if you're fortunate enough to have more than one game, is going to be a champion, a very good team. And I think the parity in college basketball, makes this tournament even more special for at least the fans. And I think, again, for us, we're excited. And the 3 seed that we received here today, I also feel really great about that. I mean, there's only 2 seeds higher than that, and I feel like we were rewarded for a lot of things, namely our very difficult schedule that we played.
A year ago when you got this job, were your expectations to be in this spot, or is this a little bit exceeding what you maybe expected in year one back here?
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. First, I have to give our team a lot of credit. I mean, we have a veteran group. We have a lot of returning players from the previous year. These guys have been incredibly coachable and resilient. It's a fun group to be around. Even this year, when we've had our moments where we've lost a tough game or we had a setback, it never grew. We've always been able to bounce back. And I think that's one thing that we're going to have to do here on Friday is, learn our lessons from the Big East tournament, the good and the bad, and really bounce back from our last game and, be a better team against Kennesaw.
Sean, how is preparing for Friday different than any other game you prepare for all year?
Well, I think as much as you try to talk about it as being the next game or trying to make this big tournament a smaller tournament, your players and everybody understands that this is March Madness. So I think for a coach, maybe speaking for all coaches, you just want your team to be the best version that we can be. Do the things that allowed us to be a 3 seed and do those things as well as we can on Friday. Be the team that was present the entire year. Don't be different. So I think that becomes our quest, and obviously we'll talk about it this week. Our experience helps that, but we don't have a lot of NCAA tournament experience. Not a lot of guys have played in the NCAA tournament that are on our roster. So I think from that perspective, they're excited, and hopefully when we get to Friday, we'll be ready to go.
Sean, you talk about your team not having a lot of experience outside of Adam Kunkel, who's been there and actually won a play-in game before he came here. You have that experience. How much of that experience for you as a head coach in this tournament can help your team?
I hope a lot. We've already talked about a number of different things, how we prepare, how the tournament works. I think sometimes as a coach you forget these are young people. If we've not been in the tournament before, talking about if you play on Friday and you win, you have the opportunity to play on Sunday. Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday. And, if you'd ever be good enough to win the first, that second game you're playing for a Sweet 16. Not allowing the entirety of the tournament become enormous on their minds. So, having a great week of practice. The good news for us is we play on Friday. I think the Big East tournament beat us up a little bit, and understandably so. So having that extra day of recovery, I think, is a good thing for our team. And also, we have an extra day to prepare. So we just have to do that really well. And, again, when we get to Friday, I think what our goal is to be the best we can be.
Depth has been something you've battled as a team. Cam Kraft is one I was just curious about. Do you see him as a guy that could come back and add depth beginning on Friday?
I believe Cam will be available this week. He really was technically available this weekend, but just because of the way the games flowed and how things went, we decided not to put him in. But with a good week of practice, we could maybe access him. and allow him to be a part of what we're doing. Access is the wrong word. to allow him to participate.
Okay, to at least lace up and possibly play. Okay, I'll ask one more, and then I'll move on here. Your team, the way that they have played, Sean, the way that they've battled in this last month without the depth, right, with the injuries, maybe you haven't learned something about your team, but what has it told you about your team and why they can do something special in this tournament?
Well, I think from an offensive perspective, we've been very, very consistent. As a matter of fact, other than the last game we just played against Marquette, and I give tremendous credit to Marquette. I think they're an outstanding defensive team. Pressure, they've really become that. Also think we wore down a little bit. But if I throw out our last game we played, I've never been around a team that's been more consistent throughout the long course of a season on offense. I mean, to lead the Big East in scoring, from an efficiency perspective, to be really in and around that top 10 mark the entire year, I think says a lot about our group. I think what we've always tried to do is, with that, try to become better on defense. And maybe if you look at us right now, this is maybe the best defense we've played. And I think that's super important for us. In a game like Friday, when you're playing in the NCAA tournament, you can't just rely on one side of the ball. You need both. So I think it's our improved defense and our consistent offense that really allows me to have great belief in our team. That, and I'm also telling you, when you look at the seed lines of the Big East teams in this tournament, we played a 20-game season this year, 10 at home, 10 on the road, and then we added 3 more of those games in Madison Square Garden. 23 games we've played in the Big East Conference is quite a task, and we have to be able to rely on that experience in this tournament.